My wife and I have been throwing a breakfast every parade day for the past 12 years, and we get bagpipers, we have people drinking, we got mimosas, but the biggest star of the party besides my wife is always a corned beef hash. We're gonna show you how to make that. Now, when you have corned beef, you can do it two different ways to get you all prepped up for this dish. The first thing is you can obviously go get a brisket, drop it into a crock pot, bake it, boil it, whatever you want to do, and you have the shreds like you typically do. The other way you can do corned beef too is go to your deli counter, and what we got was we asked for a pound of corned beef, the thickest they can cut it, which is about that thick, and then you just chop into cubes, and it really is no different than your typical stuff there. So now you're working with good stuff, and this stuff too works. All right, now we're gonna get started. The first thing you want to do is get a bunch of number 10 tin cans or small tin cans, sliced white potatoes. You want equal weight in potatoes to corned beef. That way it's not hard to mess up. So we're going to start with that here, coarse them, chop them coarsely, and that's about it. Now on our flat top here, what you're going to do is you're going to want to put bacon grease on there. For those of you that are Muslim or kosher, you can use duck fat too, or you can use a lot of butter because that doesn't hurt either. So we're going to throw some more butter on here. Now my grandmother, when she taught me how to cook a little bit when I was younger, homegirl loved potatoes, but she hated potatoes just because there wasn't flavor to them. That's why we're putting butter, cheese, bacon. I mean, she just knew how to get it done. Okay, now we've got our grease heated up on the pan. What we want to do first is we are going to put some 4 cloves of garlic. We do about a clove minced or crushed for every pound of beef. The next thing we're going to do is we have 1 medium white onion. We're going to put that on here too. Now, if you're using the brisket you pulled out of your crock pot, you probably shaved off some fat. What we like to do is put that fat on the grill, render some of that flavor so the grease is not just bacon grease, butter, but also actual beef fat. And we let that get in there so when the potatoes go in there, it really soaks all the flavor in. All right, now we're gonna add the potatoes. Before we do, we're gonna take off the beef fat we had. Now, what I've done in the past, we're not gonna do today, is I saved it, rendered it, and made fatty cracklings out of corned beef fat cooked in corned beef fat. We're not doing that today though. For our potatoes, when we add them, we've got our onions here. We're gonna make a little base with the onions so they're spread out a little bit. Then we're gonna add in about the same size, a little bit less. So I'm gonna put those on here. And we are gonna start stirring these bad boys up. You wanna keep stirring it, and you wanna start getting it crispy on the edges. Okay, now we're salt and peppering it. We're getting nice and brown and some crispness on there. Now we got some home fries, but we're about to turn in some magic hash. So the next thing we do before we add the corned beef is we got some coarsely chopped parsley. You can use shaker parsley too if that's what you got in your pantry, but now we're adding our corned beef. And basically layer the corned beef on top of the hash. This way you know, and get enough corned beef on there so you no longer see the potatoes really, and now you know you've got the right setup. And you got a beautiful pile of heaven right there. Now every bite is gonna be a little bit more corned beef than potato if you've done it right, and you know we did, and corned beef hash.